Yeah, this is the bunk I like to get up and stand up here and get a good look at them while I'm feeding them. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hey, third cutting's in the books. Silos are full. First one's full. And that fourth one is our other hay. That one's now topped off. So we should, and most likely will, have enough haylage to carry us through winter. I want to show you how this stuff's just cranking out of here. Look at that. Been hot here in Michigan. These cows have been just kind of laying low. You know it's hot when they start wagging their tails like that. It's been a long week, and it also flew by at the same time. Toughest week of our lives probably here on the farm with Mom's passing. We had a memorial for her yesterday. You know, it's just been getting our work done, plenty of that, and then just kind of laying low and doing a lot of thinking and remembering. Had quite a few cows fresh in this week. These cows are patiently waiting for me to start that other bunk up. I want to show them to you if I can get at them. I just seen one sneak in here. Hey bud, right here. There's one there, she calf. Ornery sucker. I want to show you because their bags on these cows are enormous. The cows that came in are in their prime, so I'll get you a look at them. Number 77, that's one right there. Number 8, that's another one. First bunk's full, time for the second one. That's that fresh hay. That's that first cutting hay we just put up. Last year's corn silage and last year's high moisture grain. I'm not going to completely fill this bunk up. There's a heifer that just calved. Holy cow, I wish I could get her out of there, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna fill it completely full. It's hot. It's 85 degrees today, mid-August. I want to make sure that it's cleaned up, because if they don't clean it up and they leave it in the bunk, it's gonna get hot. It's gonna be junk. It's gonna be thrown out. See that down there? I had to pitch that out this morning, and I was gone all day for the memorial yesterday for my mom, so I laid the feed to him, so I wasn't going to be here to check on him throughout the day. And I gave him too much. I didn't want to give him too little. Usually I'm here throughout the day to be able to give a little bit, but it is what it is, right? 129 beast and a little baby. She's our top cow right now. Literally a milk wagon. Okay, cows are fed. You look, I've got this area around the first sile and the fourth sile that we filled. I got it pretty well cleaned up. Yeah, that was always Dad's thing. You know, you say you're done chopping, but until you got the area completely cleaned up, wagons washed, if not dirty, then you'll sweep the roofs off, because there'll be some silage that blew on it. It happens every time. get the tractor washed up and the blower washed up. Until that's put away, you're not really completely done. I've got these two wagons here. This one I need to take around. There's a slat in here on this apron chain that's broke. We'd fixed it before. I stopped it at the end, and I'm gonna have Greg weld it. See, they swept the roofs off. This one's ready to be done. I didn't know I'd be done yet, so I still gotta clean the front of this off. I'll clean the front of this off, and then she'll be ready to put away. Then I've got these two right here. They'll be put away next. They're waiting. The boys are getting done feeding. Then Greg will come out here with the tractor. They're completely ready. I've got more put away. Well, you know, so we're getting there. Here's the 4 put away. Look at the shine on them girls. And that's why they shine, because we do what we do. You're putting them, taking care of them. These things are older than I am. Or might be the same age. Either way, they're old. Hopper bottoms put away. Done with wheat. That went pretty well. That happened before the whole mess of last week. So we knocked that out. But it was still sitting outside there. And Mark finally got that put away. That's why this looks away. This truck is, she's an oldie. Back to this blower tractor and blower. Cody stayed back there at the memorial yesterday, and he washed all this up for me. So now what I'll do is I'll get downwind. I'll fire this all up, and I'm gonna dump this used motor oil in here, and I'm gonna turn it on. And I don't know how many of you guys do that. We've been doing it now for probably 10 years or so. Dad got me on it, and I just like I like the idea behind it. You're running oil all in there, and then I'll shoot it right out through there. It's getting inside this drum. I mean, hey, what the heck, man? They're keeping it from rusting, right? How's that for a grease job? Okay, this is in the barn. This blower is gonna sit. We'll use a different blower for corn silage. So one more thing put away, and we're starting to get somewhere. You may have noticed this wagon. This is a jewelry wagon that we're making. When you go to as many auctions as Dad does, you've learned you've got a bunch of odds and ends and things on the farm that you're not using, you're not gonna need. So what we do is we'll keep a flatbed and we'll start putting stuff on there. These are Super Duty mirrors. I don't know where Greg got them. Or these might have been off a Platinum truck. They're kind of broke, but some people might buy them. But they will buy them. You're gonna get something. So we make our own jewelry wagons. So he knows a lot of auctioneers. We'll pull that right into an auction. It's a good way to get rid of your junk. You know, one man's junk is another man's treasure. Okay, then we come to this chopper wagon. She's pretty full. Why is this wagon full when the silos are already full? Let down, we're feeding out of them. They were chopping the last field. They had to cut another field just to get that filled right full so I can get through winter. And they kept saying, how much are you gonna need? I said, cut the whole field, chop the whole field, we'll take it all. I climbed up it and I looked in there and I figured I could take 6 to 8. Well, it started getting dry, so I called my brother. I says, look, this stuff's getting dry. I can take 6 loads of green fine chop, but I can't take 6 loads of dry fluff. You know, dry fluff, when it gets dry on you and you're putting in the silo, it's a double whammy. You can't get as much in for one, and they don't like it as much. They want it green, so it don't pack in as well. Had an extra one, so what I got to do with it now is I got to get it fed off, and I'm going to take it down the dry cow lot, feed them, and then I'm going to come up and I'm going to hit them heifers in the field. I'll run them a jag, and I'll do that for a couple days, and she'll be empty. We'll clean this off. We'll put this away too. So let's go. for some hay feeding. Hey, I wanted to touch on my mom's memorial yesterday. Very emotional. A few days before that, we went to the church. We had at a church. We had a family meeting, how it's gonna go, what prayers we're gonna do. And the pastor asked, does anybody want to speak and say something about your mom? Story, I think they call it a eulogy. So no one said anything, it was kind of quiet. On the way home with Rochelle, she's talking, saying, you know, someone spoke at my grandparents. It's really nice when a family member does that. You know, I think your family, your mom would really appreciate it. She says, you know, I think if anybody could do it, you could. You know, that's Rochelle. She believes in me. She thinks I can do anything. So I thought about it and I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. So I wrote something down, it changed a couple times, and I got rid of it and I just did it all in my mind. What I was gonna say, how I was gonna say it. And I did a practice run on camera, pretty much to you guys. If I figure if I couldn't do it on a camera, not even in the church around all the people. So I pre-recorded this before the memorial service. It was probably Thursday. And I got it out to you. And now this has been passed. And I can tell you, I did it. I got it out. I pretty much cried the whole time. It's probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. You're gonna see the practice run of it. You're gonna hear pretty much what I said. I said it, no notes. I just said it off the top of my mind because it was about my life with my mom and Rochelle, and so it wasn't like it was hard to really remember, you know, your life. So here's a practice run of it, and there was like 1,000 people that came, they estimated, packed house. We stood up there for 2 hours greeting people nonstop, and then it started. They said a prayer, I spoke, more prayers. The grandkids, you know, like 10 grandkids left the flower up there. It was that, everybody was just bawling, but you know, like I said, it was a celebration, supposed to be, and we know she's in a better place, so we're getting along. And tell me what you think about the little speech. That's how I'm gonna end the video, so take care of yourselves and see you next time. Okay, guys, hey, I said I'm gonna give a speech during Mom's Memorial tomorrow. I've got it written in my head. I'm coming to my office here at home. I want to give it a practice run. I figure if I can't do it with you guys, I'm gonna have a real hard time. But I know it's not gonna be the same, but plus I wanted you guys to hear this too. Tell me what you thought. I'm a pretty open book. I don't really care, you know, you guys, I'm got nothing to hide from, so tell me what you think. Here's what I'm gonna start out with. Hey guys, thanks everybody for coming. I'm Kip Sigler. I'm the middle son. I'm the one who lives on the corner next to the main farm. In the front row here, we've got my fiance Rochelle. And I want to tell you a little story about when her and I got together, just how Mom made her feel at home. It was 3 years ago, we were out chopping corn late, and Rochelle was home waiting for me. Dad was chopping, so Mom was at home waiting for her. And we finally got home, and Rochelle says to me, hey, your mom came over tonight. I said, oh, she did? That's good. She says, yeah. She knocked on the door once, opened the door and said, you home? And came right in. And ever since then, they made a habit of coming over. Over the past few years, I'd come home, Mom would be there with Rochelle on the back deck. Sometimes there'd be empty beer cans. Sometimes there'd be a bottle of wine. Mom knew just what Rochelle was getting herself into. Marrying a dairy farmer, marrying a Sigler. I had 2 young daughters. The last couple months, Rochelle and I learned that she was pregnant. And she wanted my mom, she said, I want your mom to be the first person I tell. That's the kind of impact my mom had on her. So we went over there, told my mom, they were crying, they had tears of joy. Fast forward to now, And this past week, Rochelle and I find ourselves at home talking about mom. And Rochelle starts crying and says, I'm gonna miss your mom so much. She taught me so much about life. She taught me how to be a mother. And that really hurt to hear. See, mom was a leader. She had a way of building people up and leaving them with confidence. Now I know this is a emotional day, sad day, but it's supposed to also be a celebration. So in closing, I want to leave you with some words of wisdom from mom. If you were ever down, she'd say, suck it up and don't be a loser.